Discuss the history and significance of the Washington Quarter. Introduced in 1932 to commemorate George Washington's 200th birthday. Designed by John Flanagan, showing Washington's portrait on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse, 1932 to 1998. Shifted in design for the 50-state quarters program starting in 1999. Why are some Washington quarters worth so much? Explanation of mint errors and rarity. What makes a coin valuable, rarity, condition, grade, mint errors, and historical significance. Introduction to key terms in numismatics, off-center strikes, doubled dies, planchet errors, etc. How coin grading affects value. Introduce the concept of coin grading, e.g., MS-60 to MS-70 scale. Explain the importance of condition, e.g., uncirculated versus circulated coins. Discuss how rare mint errors and poor survival rates drive up the value of some coins, minted as part of regular circulation, but certain varieties have emerged with errors. Most 1966 quarters are standard, but some carry rare minting flaws. The 1966 off-center strike and other errors. Explain how off-center strikes occur during the minting process and what makes them rare. Include double die errors that can make some 1966 quarters incredibly valuable. Describe how these errors make a 1966 quarter more valuable to collectors. Auction history and value. Highlight notable auction results for 1966 quarters with off-center strikes and other errors. Some of these coins have sold for over $300,000 due to their rarity. How to spot a rare 1966 quarter. Step-by-step guide on identifying off-center strikes and doubled dies. Visual cues and features to look for, such as misalignment, distortion of design, etc. Case study. A real-world example of a 1966 quarter that sold for an exceptional amount at auction, with images of the coin, typical minting for the year, but with a very notable error coin that has become iconic. The mystery of the 1967 off-center strike. Dive into how the 1967 off-center strike was created and why this error is especially sought after by collectors. Discuss why the off-center strikes in 1967 are much rarer than expected. Rarity and auction value. Highlight record-breaking sales, with some 1967 off-center strikes going for well over $300,000. Show how rarity, historical context, and condition contribute to the high value of these coins. How to identify a 1967 off-center strike. Tips on how to spot a 1967 Washington quarter with an off-center strike, including visual cues like distorted designs and placement. Collecting the 1967 quarter. Discuss the appeal of this error coin to numismatists and how it fits into the broader Washington quarter collection. Standard circulation, but unique for specific minting issues. Common errors in the 1977 quarter. Discuss known errors such as doubled die varieties, die cracks, and missing details, e.g., the face. These errors happen when the die used to strike the coin is improperly aligned or damaged. The value of rare 1977 Washington quarters. Discuss how these errors increase the value of 1977 quarters, sometimes pushing them into the high thousands or low hundreds of thousands. Notable sales and auction results for rare 1977 quarters. How to identify a rare 1977 quarter. Tips on spotting double die errors and misaligned strikes. Recognizing coins that have missing details or other distinctive features. Why collectors love the 1977 quarter. Discuss the historical appeal and scarcity of certain 1977 quarters. Mention how these coins fit into the larger Washington quarter series. This coin is part of the regular series, but some are incredibly valuable due to minting errors. The 1982 D-copper planchet error. Similar to the 1991 D-copper planchet, this error involves using the wrong material during production, leading to a valuable coin. Why this error coin is extremely rare and valuable. Auction value and high sales. Some of these 1982 D-copper planchet error coins have sold for over $300,000, showcasing the high demand for such rarities. How to spot the 1982 D-copper planchet error. Key identifiers, color, weight, and the unique properties of the copper planchet error. Why this coin is a collector's dream. Talk about how rare planchet errors from this period are among the most sought-after types of coins in the market. Standard circulation, but unique for specific minting issues. Common errors in the 1977 quarter. Discuss known errors such as double die varieties, die cracks, and missing details, e.g., the face. These errors happen when the die used to strike the coin is improperly aligned or damaged. The value of rare 1977 Washington quarters. Discuss how these errors increase the value of 1977 quarters, sometimes pushing them into the high thousands or low hundreds of thousands. Notable sales and auction results for rare 1977 quarters. How to identify a rare 1977 quarter. Tips on spotting double die errors and misaligned strikes. Recognizing coins that have missing details or other distinctive features. Why collectors love the 1977 quarter. Discuss the historical. The 1991 D series included millions of quarters, but some carry a rare minting error. The 1991 D copper planchet error. Explain how this minting error happened when the copper planchet was mistakenly used instead of the usual copper-nickel alloy. Discuss why this error makes the 1991 D quarter so valuable. Auction value and rarity. Several of these error coins have sold for upwards of $300,000 in auction. Why this specific error is considered a holy grail for collectors. Identifying the 1991 D copper planchet error quarter. How to recognize the copper planchet error by its color, weight, and appearance. Detailed description of identifying features. Why the 1991 D error coin is so special. Discuss why the 1991 D copper planchet is one of the most coveted Washington quarters. Mention how these coins fit into the larger Washington quarter series. Why it's worth looking for. While 1966 quarters are not generally rare, a key factor to watch for is the presence of a D mint mark for Denver. In 1966, there were some rare errors, such as no mint mark varieties or those struck with proof-like finishes. Value. A standard 1966 quarter might only be worth face value, 25 cents, unless it has an unusual error or is in excellent condition. However, a high-grade, MS-65 or better, coin can bring in $20 to $50 or more, especially for collectors looking for specific varieties. 2. 1967 Washington quarter. Why it's worth looking for. Like the 1966 quarter, most 1967 quarters aren't considered particularly rare, but they can have certain striking errors or high grades that make them valuable. Value. The value for a regular 1967 quarter is close to face value unless it's an exceptional coin. Some coins with the no mint mark error or those with full bell lines, e.g., proof-like examples, can fetch between $30 to $75 in great condition, MS-65 plus. 3. 1977 Washington quarter. Why it's worth looking for. The 1977 quarter is a bit more interesting due to the no mint mark issue, which is extremely rare for this year. Most quarters from this time period were struck with a mint mark, either D for Denver or S for San Francisco, so finding one with no mint mark can raise its value. Value. If you come across a no mint mark 1977 quarter, it can be worth $100 to $300 depending on condition. Even a well-worn one can still command some attention from collectors looking for errors. The standard 1977 quarters are worth little beyond face value. 4. 1982 Washington quarter. Why it's worth looking for. The 1982 quarter can sometimes be worth money due to die cracks or other minting errors that occurred during production. These types of errors are much rarer and can make a difference in value. Value. The regular 1982 Washington quarter is still just worth 25 cents unless it's in proof-like condition or shows unusual errors. Coins with die cracks, especially in certain areas, may fetch around $50 or more depending on the severity and the collector market at the time. 5. 1991 Washington quarter. Why it's worth looking for. The 1991 quarter is part of the Washington quarter series and can have some interesting die varieties, such as differences in the appearance of "In God We Trust" or other small features. Additionally, certain quarters struck in high grades, like MS-68 or MS-69, can carry higher value. Value. The 1991 quarters are generally worth face value unless they are in exceptional condition, near perfect MS grades. A few of the higher quality, MS-67 or higher, quarters can sell for $50 to $100 or more, especially if they're tied to unique die features. Quick summary of the values. 1966 and 1967, mostly worth face value unless they have errors or are proof-like. 1977, watch out for no mint mark errors, which could be worth $100 to $300 or more. 1982, errors, especially die cracks, could bring up to $50 plus.